Hello, Cardinals. It's Mr. Mon. We're going to talk about reflection lesson 4 today. Um, the focus question is the original one from the beginning of the unit, which is how can meteorologists use air pressure measurements to predict changes in weather and different types of cloud formations? So before we dive into the reflection, we want to review the vocabulary. There were a lot of vocabulary, so you want to double check this. Air pressure is the force exerted by the weight of air on a surface. Barometer is a device that measures the weight of air. Barometric pressure is atmospheric air pressure. Air masses is a large bulk of air that have the same temperature and moisture contents throughout. Wind is air in motion and is caused by uneven heating. Convection currents is air is heated by the sun, becomes less dense so it rises, then cools, and becomes more dense and sinks. Sea breezes occur during the day. The land warms faster, so warm air rises above the land, forming an area of low pressure, which allows the cool, dense air to move over the water and to slide in and push aside the less dense warm air. And that visual is a good example of that. Land breeze occurs at night. The land cools faster than the water, so the air moves over the land and becomes cooler than the air over the water. As the warm air over the water rises, it cools and it becomes dense air from the land, moves forward and the water towards the water and pushes warm, less dense air aside. Coriolis effect is
Kyle Helm, Deanna Fagan. Your Chromebooks are here in the main office. Alex Weber, Nathan Schauer, Cameron Gossard, Trevor Golden, also to the main office.
Sorry about that. The Coriolis effect is a force that comes from the rotation of the Earth and causes air to deflect to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. Global winds are winds that form between the poles. Trade winds are winds that flow towards the equator turning west. Westerlies are winds that flow from west to east, and easterlies are winds that flow from east to west. The jet stream is a long, relatively narrow tube of air in the boundary between the troposphere and the stratosphere that have very strong winds, and they usually form between warm zones and cool zones. Satellites allow scientists to see weather systems on a global scale. They can see cloud movement and patterns, and anemometer measures wind speed. Radiosondes are part of the weather balloon that balloon that reports back to Earth. Doppler radar is a tool to help track precipitation using sound waves. So the reflection today, it's a long one. There are 8 steps. You're going to have a sheet to go with this, but you're going to meet with your group to discuss and share results from investigation 4.1. You're going to be doing A, B, and C, focusing on why things are happening and where and how you think winds and storms might form. You're going to look again at air masses. That was a reading from a few days ago. And you're going to figure out what type of weather do you think might occur along a front. All right, so revisit your science notebook and the textbook also. You're going to look at the convection currents formed in the tubes and use your information. You're going to write your own definition of convection currents. Step 4 is reading Extending Your Knowledge, the Truth About Air, and answering a couple of questions. Step 4, you're going to go to a student sheet. It has those convection tubes on there, and you're going to illustrate how they move, and you're going to relate the movement of air within those convection tubes to the formation of land and sea breezes. Step 6 is you're going to use what you learned in investigation 4.4 to answer the following questions about air pressure. Step 7, you're going to read Extending Your Knowledge, the atmospheric, a multi-layer blanket of air, and answer the questions there. And step 8, you're going to revisit the KWL chart that would be on your Google Classroom site and do the KWL for lesson 4. So your to-do list for today is complete steps 1 through 8. You're going to want to double check your KWL chart. You're going to want to check your vocab terms using this video. You have an exit slip, and don't forget to study for lesson 4's quiz, which is tomorrow. If you have any questions, please let your teacher know.